there, welcome to week 14 of Beat the Odds. Today we're going to do some myth busting, myths about bad teams, bad weather, bad luck. So strap in. We got a big show. Beat the Odds starts right now.
From our Las Vegas studios, this is Beat the Odds,
sponsored by Superbook at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino,
and powered by
SportsGrid.
Well, how you doing, everybody? Welcome inside our Las Vegas studio. I'm Dave Hall.
And I'm Mariah Janos. Miami froze in the cold, Buffalo frolicked in the snow, and KC got lucky again.
Lucky?
Yes.
I mean, if you call a toenail, a block kick, and a fumble, okay, they've been a little lucky.
Yeah, Homer. That luck might run out this weekend, though. KC has a tough game against the Bolts on Sunday.
Yeah, they definitely do. Coming up on today's show, we're going to do some myth busting about bad teams and bad weather. Plus, we'll have our player prop showdown and best bets.
And I'll be talking with Brandon Marshall about the divisional races that are now coming down to the wire. And the guys from SportsGrid are here for the party, too.
Hey, Vegas, we're excited to beat the odds with you guys once again. Coming up, Joe Lisi and I will look at an unbelievable game from Russell Wilson, over 400 yards, and a real letdown from Kirk Cousins with 4 interceptions and what it means moving forward. So sit tight, and we'll join you guys in a bit. It's back out to the crew in Vegas.
All right, here with the boys, and I'm digging the theme today, myth busting.
Right.
Somebody should do a show about that.
You know what? That's exactly right. That's an idea. Let's see if we can throw it out there to the world. Yeah. This time of year, you definitely want to find these ways to get around things that everybody is looking at. Mm-hmm. And last week with the holiday weekend, people lost their minds. So we had some players that we cannot predict what they're going to do, apparently.
And conventional wisdom isn't necessarily wise.
There we go. Yes. So let's start there. Shockers and stunners, Teddy.
Oh, yeah, we had some real stunners this last week. How about Indy, New England? You had the under in that game, under the whole way, and then that last-second touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Over cash is no fun for underbettors in that game. Jacksonville against Houston. That was Houston domination for, 3.5 quarters, knocked the Jags QB out of the game, and then all of a sudden the clock starts ticking. 2 late touchdowns from Jacksonville. Ouch for Houston backers. Atlanta's defense completely dominated, controlled the game against, and then Kirk Cousins throws 4 picks against LA. Oops, Atlanta loses 2 first downs they give up in the second half and still lost. And of course, a Monday night nightmare for Cleveland backers. Jameis throws a pick 6, no big deal. Jameis throws another pick 6, ouch. And then another interception at the end of the game. Cleveland.
It was a Black Friday special.
Oh, that was tough.
I'm blaming the holiday for a lot of that. Clearly, Kirk Cousins and his wife or somebody had some issues over the Thanksgiving weekend because he lost his mind. 4 interceptions, pick 6.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that they've been married for 10 years. There might be a little bit of slump that happened over the holiday weekend, which caused him to throw the ball to the wrong team more times than he needed to. That was my top play last week. That was the right side. I'm not happy about it. There are some sour grapes there. Yep. The other one, Jameis Winston, apparently God's going to deliver him from the pick 6s, and so that problem solved. So
he said in his press conference afterwards.
He is trying to get that done. So a couple of those just out-of-body moments, turned it for the
Okay, let's get this back on the tracks, Teddy.
Shockers. Let's talk about some shockers and some favorites that lost. Certainly, we had Gang Green. They took money again. They ended up as favorites against Seattle and found a way to lose. Seattle wins and covers. Bad spot for LA. Well, bad game for Cousins. Atlanta loses at home. Cincy loses outright as favorites. That game was good for me. Now Pittsburgh alone in first place. And Philly, 8th straight win. Justin Tucker had a rough time kicking field goals.
Another guy out of body. Justin Tucker's forgot how to kick field goals. That's not good if you're relying on 3 points at a time out of Philly.
Yeah.
Or Baltimore. Yep.
He's had a rough stretch this season. He used to be automatic.
He was the best kicker I've ever seen.
The yips. It's that commercial. I'm blaming that commercial that's back. It's the yips.
What commercial?
The yip guy. The car insurance commercial. He's got the yips. Turn it on. Read a book.
Okay. On that note, are you okay?
You know what? No.
You're fired up today, Jack.
Really not. Atlanta, I'm still getting over it.
Never
I need
change.
therapy.
Whatever you do, Jack, never change. We love who you are.
We're going to get it back on track.
Christmas is coming early for the public. You guys had another good week. Mariah is at the Superbook Westgate, Las Vegas.
Thanks, Dave. I'm here with Executive Director of Superbook Operations, John Murray. John, we're on to week 14. The season is coming to a close fairly soon, which is frightening. But let's go back to last week. How did you guys do overall here at the book?
It's frightening for you, maybe. We had a tough week 13. You know, a lot of favorites won. Favorites won going back to Thanksgiving. Kansas City won on Friday. And then you had Buffalo on Sunday night. And then it was capped all off with Denver on Monday night. A lot of favorites. Wasn't good for the book.
You mentioned Kansas City. The narrative all season has been that they've been winning outright, but not covering. I'm looking at the line for this week. It's shorter than I anticipated. Have books caught on to Kansas City and adjusting those lines accordingly?
I think that's fair to say. I think some of the lines on the Kansas City games are a lot cheaper than they would have been at the beginning of the season. In fact, we opened the game on Sunday, Kansas City -3.5, and we were quickly bet up to -4.
Another big matchup on the slate, Cincinnati and Dallas. At the start of the season, this looked like a great matchup, but what are you making of it at this point?
Well, I think going back to the start of the season, this looked like one of the best Monday night games of the year. Two teams with aspirations of going all the way. And right now, the only question is, will either of their coaches be back in 2025? I don't know about that. I don't think either of them should be back. We'll see. I think there'll be a lot of money on Cincinnati, on the favorite. I'm sure we'll need Dallas.
I'm right there with you with those coaching changes. We'll see next season how that turns out. But John, thank you so much. Dave, we'll send it back to you in studio.
All right, thanks, guys. So it's time to go myth busting. The bad teams have quit. Weather has a huge effect, and Jack is secretly an exotic male dancer. Thankfully, all three are not true. We'll explain why. Two of those three next.
Before we head to break, in Week 13, Buffalo quarterback Josh Allen became the third player ever to score a receiving touchdown in a game in which they did not record a reception. Who else has done this?
Beat the Odds is sponsored by Superbook Westgate Las Vegas.
And powered by Sports Grid.
Welcome back. Before the break, we asked you in Week 13, Buffalo quarterback Josh Allen became the third player ever to score a receiving touchdown in a game in which they did not record a reception. Who else has done this? The answer, Jahmyr Gibbs, the Detroit running back. He did it just earlier this season. And a San Francisco wide receiver by the name of Rice. But it's not Jerry, it's Allen Rice. He did it in 1984 with San Fran. All right, it's time to welcome in our champ, Brandon Marshall. Brandon, there are some tight divisional races at this point, both the NFC and AFC North, AFC West. Which do you think is the most intriguing divisional race at this point?
I mean, it has to be the NFC North.
Yeah.
They literally have three teams that will probably make the playoffs, okay? Detroit, Minnesota, and Green Bay, all within a game or two of each other. So that is the most intriguing race, but also the best division in football.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, with the way that some of these divisions are stacked, you've got a front runner and then that number 2, number 3 are right neck and neck with each other.